into another episode of Devil's Den Radio. I'm your host, DevilJon. As usual, I have some hippies here with me. I have my lovely Hippie Soul.
Hey, guys.
And Hippie Mike.
What's up?
See? It's like we timed that shit and got that right. Welcome into the live Podbean listening group that we have going here. Got like Say What, Chris Wilson, the Ralph William podcast in the live chat room. We also got a lot of other things like the Patreon club. Special shout out to VeganJosh. It's his fucking birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday, VeganJosh.
Yeah, so I just hassled him and I said, you have not come on to the show.
Real quick.
So you need to get on and get your ass back into the den. So we're going to get him back on the mic. And, so special shout out to VeganJosh. So. But also, before we get too motherfucking crazy, shout out to Clown Spaz, a.k.a. Slumpkin King. Yeah. But also, let's pay some fuck bells.
Why don't you?
Now that I'm mentioning plugs, Toilet Jams, alright? Toilet Jams is gonna be coming out soon.
You sent me a sample.
Yeah, I sent you the sample.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be used on some independent content generators by the name of Clown Spaz. He's gonna be working on some cars, and then you're gonna be hearing my toilet jams.
Okay.
A few of them in the background as he wrenches on some things. So I've cleared some of that shit, and that means that the Toilet Jams is really coming out soon. So the EP will be coming out.
You should have him add some vocals.
Shitting in space, and I think it's just kind of ambient chill music, in my opinion. I wanted music to smoke to, chill.
Okay.
So what's up? We got some more people joining us there over here in Podbean Live. But before I get too crazy, let's also do a special shout out to patreon.com/devilsdenradio, where you take special stock in the show. Now, what does that mean? Well, the special stock means there's a special Discord channel that you can be a part of, where there's lots of shenanigans. And when I say shenanigans, it's all over the place with shenanigans. And let's build the community up with that only for Patreon subscribers. Okay, channel is where you get that. So it's $2 a month access, and then you get all the bonus content, the behind the scenes stuff. Because everybody that's like, I followed you on social media, you don't do much shit. But on Patreon, I'm quite active. You know why? Because people pay for my time, motherfucker. I don't fucking care about social media that much. But I care about my Patreons. Just like Shane, the king, the leader of the Facebook group Tribe of the Dead. Okay, so join the group on there. And then also VeganJosh, his birthday today. Boo, boo, boo. And First Lady Mary. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. Still 1, 2, 3. You want to get a specialized shout out? Join us over there. DevilsDenRadio.com as well. Makes it very easy for you to find out how you can either be a guest or support the show. So, what the fuck is up?
I don't know. Just another day.
It does kind of feel... Check the links. They're in the description. See? Now we're getting like into this point of the winter where it's like, I guess it's safe to say that it's been fairly mild, man.
Yeah, but today was colder.
It was a cold. It was
We got
like
snow yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, us too.
Well, that ground chill was just not cool. And I'm
I
like,
actually left work early, drove home in the snowstorm, and thought I was like, oh no, I'm going to have ice on my driveway, and nothing. It all melted
Nope, it all
overnight.
melted away.
Yeah, but once snow starts coming down, people start driving like idiots.
and that's always how it is. It's like people forget how
Immediately.
the machine works. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, it takes time to slow this thing down.
Well, half the people didn't even come in the office. That's the other thing, too.
Punks.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was justified because we wound up, going home early, I mean, obviously you had to log on from home, but...
Yeah, I'd see when they did the online work stuff, I think that it really fucked up, saying like, all right, well, it's a snow day. You can't come in. No, they're like, you know what? Your ass is working from home today.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of been... They've gone away from that. They've been going away from that for a while, I guess. Like, my company, for example, is like...
They're weaning people back into the office, right?
They're having a hard time trying to get people to come back in the office.
Oh.
To the point... Because they're just like, until you make me, like, I'm gonna keep doing this. Because they tried being... soft about it, like, okay, come on in, even incentives like free lunch on Fridays, like, all kinds of stuff, and nothing. So now they put out like a directive or some kind of minimum 3 days in the office you have to do, and they're enforcing it by actually like tracking. We all have the badges to get in and out of the building. They track if you actually come in and out of the office, and if you don't have a minimum of 3 days, they tell your manager now, but what they're doing is making it your goals for next year so that they have like justification for taking action against you. But they have to do it for like a whole nother year, you know what I mean? But they're putting the pieces in place to be able to do that. That's how much of a hard of a time they're having people to come back into the office.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people that just don't want to work from what, a lot of people are saying, is that like there's vacancies, there's jobs, you know what I mean? And there should be no recession in a sense in the United States, but...
in some ways, yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. Because it's like, I listen to, like, we don't talk about politics much, but I will, just brush upon it real fast because I do take in both sides, which it's hard to listen to both sides. Because because when you sift through both sides, you try to come out with something logical where it's like, okay, I just want to coexist with something logical here. But it's starting to get muddier and muddier as the years go on, it seems.
Yeah, I guess because you have to kind of be so far on one side or the other.
It's almost like a force.
It's
like, well, where are you? And
I imagine is, how
nowhere.
like there's a crack between your legs that gets wider and wider and wider.
Well, yeah.
Like eventually your legs you can't keep 1 foot on either one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're kind of forced either. Well, I don't know what would happen. You either pick a side, or are you going to fall down or you give up? You just stop paying attention. I don't know.
See, we need the balance, though,
in
order for things to exist. Now, unfortunately,
I think what you're saying is it's harder and harder to get that balance because of how extreme things can get.
Exactly. The extremes of the polarity are fucking nuts, and but no one's willing to admit that they're fucking nuts.
Well, no, they all think they're right, and I'm sure in a lot of ways they are in certain ways.
But going about it in which ways? And that's the problem because, like, I don't know.
You also tend to ignore the information that doesn't support your point.
See, you know what's funny, and I don't, and it made me think about it because I was listening to my guilty pleasure, John Mayer.
He admits it. All right.
So, and it's like, you know, when they control the media, you know, when they control the television, they can bend it all they want.
Yeah.
You know, the news and everything and the media. And I was like,
well, you can tell just by the tone of the article.
And I was like, wow, he kind of like, you know, but breezed upon something very deep. And I was like, fuck. I was like, yo, that's very. I was like, when did you write that? And I was like, oh, okay, early 2000s. Okay, so it's like Bush era, which isn't as bad as it was now.
We thought it was, but, you know, I mean, it was bad when 9/11 happened.
Oh, it was really bad.
You know.
Well, we lost the trillions of dollars before 9/11 happened too, so it was like a big deficit to the economy, and then also 9/11 happened. Bam. So, and then back-to-back wars.
Yeah, we're going down the political rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a part of history too. I'm not saying anything wrong or anything. I'm not saying, but I'm also, if we can do metal and hippie people hanging out, maybe we start branching out slightly, but not so hard. Like maybe remember Daria?
The show?
The show Daria?
Yeah.
You remember like how the effort she like tried to reach for that volleyball?
Minimal.
Very minimal.
Yeah.
You
can't
know,
say she didn't try.
You can't say she didn't try. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're going to do the Daria approach to politics in a sense where it's just like, it's like, okay. Because, you know, it will bring people in, you know, to the show. And I think it might expand certain conversations. But the one problem that I have is it just usually becomes regurgitated rhetoric.
Yeah. Or some other form of it. Like, you know what I mean? You're essentially using the same type of...
It's like you jazzed it up with your own words.
Buzzwords.
But you said the same thing.
Yeah.
As this guy. That you just said isn't crazy, but
I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I feel like in one way...
Well, yeah, because I was going to say you served,
yeah.
right? So, like, you know, a lot of times, you know, when, you know, I know my soldier friends, I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, thanks a lot. I couldn't do it because, I had the asthma. They told me, they were like, you're a liability.
Well, yeah, they're trying to get people who are, you know, don't have any medical things that will come into play in the event that they're in a place where they need something done, and if something were to happen to you, there's nothing they can do to help you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're in the woods all by yourself and you have a medical emergency, it's irresponsible to send you out there if that's a possibility, you know? And the mission is above everything else, you know what I mean? So, anyway.
Yes.
I don't know. I think I just get frustrated about the whole political scene in general.
It just makes me think because, like, when I go out in my community, I don't, like, have, like, crazy interactions with people, which I know that they all are.
It's calmed down, but for a few years there, it was pretty, like, in your face everywhere you went.
Like, we have a lot of the flag drivers.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
They're still around.
I'm like, what
in the last,
fuck?
I want to say, couple of years, I'm seeing less. But that's not to say. I just think maybe their flags got old. Maybe they fell off. Maybe it was like, okay, I got this flag on the back of my truck for, you know, they maybe just got tired of having a flag on their truck or something. Of course, it's a truck, by the way.
Of course.
I was going to say, you generalized.
Well, am I wrong?
No, I've seen them on Jeeps too. So
Oh, forgive me.
seen them on Jeeps too. So
Okay.
it's like, all right. So you see them on wagons, you see them on trucks, you see little mini ones on cars.
Yeah, the little hidden ones, the mini ones.
Yeah. You
Oh,
see,
yeah, I
oh,
see
yeah,
them everywhere.
You're like, what the fuck is this about? Like, you're like, I got mini hatred. Got mini hatred for you.
Yep. But that says to me, it's like, I have it, but I don't want you to see it right away.
And then kind of switching over, which, I want the ladies' perspective as well on this because she's been kind of silent because we've been very Bocarty.
Yeah, I've had no space to really interject.
That's
so
right.
I've
Change the
just
topic.
Been
Let's move on.
quiet. Yeah, politics suck, and I don't really
Sports-
want to talk about them at all either.
Sports ball is going
Sports
on.
ball. How many points did they score in
Sports
the
ball is going on. And the fan bases, okay, of San Francisco, right, have to travel to Philadelphia.
Well, I don't
Now-
think it's the Super Bowl, right?
It's not a Super Bowl, but it's a NFC Championship
Okay.
game, so it's the game before the fucking Super Bowl.
People do that though.
Yeah. they do.
Enough to fill
I
a
get that.
stadium.
I get that. But
You
what
know
I'm
what I
saying
mean?
is San Francisco liberal peeps coming into fucking Philadelphia to come stay and play, as a fan of the game.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, the Philly fans.
See? Yeah.
They have a reputation.
See? That's what I mean.
Not even Santa Claus is safe from Philly fans.
Yeah. It's a known.
Although
It's a known level of savagery.
the city is great. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate Philadelphia in general, but when it comes to the fans, they're passionate. They're passionate.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
They love their teams. And they let you know about it.
Here's a kind of random question. How long do you think they're going to keep that Rocky statue up?
Until. Well, I think it. I don't know. I think
Like, what significance does it actually have now? Like, we filmed a movie here once, you know?
And Apollo. The spinoff or whatever. Oh, Creed. That's what it's called. Creed.
Oh, great. They left it there so they can make a
I mean, a spinoff.
a spoof or a spin-off, yeah.
Yeah. You almost call it a spoof.
Almost a spoof. Depend on your take on the movie. It could have been. No, I didn't hate that movie, actually.
Which one?
Apollo.
Apollo?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You mean
Better
Creed?
than Rocky 6.
You mean Creed?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I haven't seen it.
I've
so I
never
have
seen
no
it
idea.
either. Isn't it Michael B. Jordan or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'd give it a chance. Because he's a pretty decent actor. He's like one
That's
of
what
those...
I mean. That's kind of how I judge movies.
You ever seen Fruitvale Station?
No.
How about you? Fruitvale
No.
Station? We gotta watch Fruitvale Station then.
Okay, so he's good in that?
Oh, hell yeah. It's
Okay.
like I would say one of his most standout, performances where it's like fucking nuts.
Yeah, like honestly, the acting, the quality of the acting can make or break a movie. It could be a bad movie, but really well played, and I'll still be watching the movie because I'm like, these characters are like good, you know.
Did you watch a Black Panther?
No.
Definitely good.
Okay.
Made me cry a little bit,
All right.
especially when they get all astral
I
and shit.
cry at shit all the time, like movies and TV and
Well, they get very
Fucking YouTube.
they get very astral.
Astral.
Hmm
Okay.
So have fun with that.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard to like not feel emotional because it's
I
like
never got through the whole thing. I tried watching it twice when I was in the hospital because it was in the samplings of
Yeah.
movies they had. I tried watching it twice, but I was too weak to stay awake,
wow.
unfortunately. So I have to
we'll
watch
have to watch
it
that.
sometime.
It's a good one.
What I saw was good.
Yeah. And not only that, fucking Chadwick Boseman, man, he was dealing with cancer as he was shooting that.
Okay, I remember. I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he kept it like under wraps
Quiet,
for like
yeah.
the whole time, and then
Then he died.
he died.
Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, he had
That's
cancer.
awful.
Yeah.
Well, he probably wanted to live like
The same way that Norm went out. Like he told
Norm
no
Macdonald.
one.
Yeah.
No one.
Did you watch the thing that he did? He filmed his last comedy special from his living room because it was during COVID, and he had all these jokes that he was gonna come out with. Obviously, at some time they were ready to go, and then he knew he wasn't gonna make it out of COVID to do these jokes, so he did them on a recording at home and released it. I think like after his death or something like that. So it's like when you hear the joke, but there's no laughter. It's just the joke. It's just him talking. And yes, it's funny. And when you watch it, it's like sad at the same time, because it's like that joke would have landed. That joke would have gotten a laugh out of the whole room, but you can't laugh because that's it. And then when he finally signs off, you're like, he knows it, and he did it in like a very non-celebratory way. He's like, I'm done, and he just gets up, shuts the camera off, and walks away. But, yeah, he's a guy I miss, Norm Macdonald. I think Robin Williams, he's the one. He's the one that gets me.
Yeah.
So sad.
What about? Yeah, and then not only that, what about you there, Miss?
I don't really get that invested in celebrities to like feel any certain type of way. Like, yeah, it's sad, but I never get like caught up in it that I'm like, oh, I really miss X, Y, or Z, except for maybe Chris Farley.
I was gonna say,
Farley,
everybody
yeah,
always
He's like the
has to,
only one
yeah.
that I'm like, I really wish she's around and still making movies. And freaking Betty White, I wish she could have lived forever. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, those were the only two that like really ring a bell in my mind as being like, oh man,
like
that
it's slightly
fucking
devastating.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like Chris Farley, like I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that's the obvious choice. And when I think about, I try to pick like the number two, the second most. I said Robin Williams or whatever, but Chris Farley, man, just because of when it happened,
it
he
was
was
in a pivotal time in my life.
I was a sophomore or junior in high school, something like that. But like,
Yeah, I think I was in
I
like
was
middle school.
quoting Tommy Boy with all my buddies.
Yes, exactly.
You know, Black Sheep, and obviously SNL. Matt Foley.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Live in a van down by the river.
Like when all our friends would get together and just be shitheads and just quote movies and stuff.
Exactly.
How many Chris Farley quotes or how many Chris Farley
Tons.
movies did we quote? I mean, it had a
They're very,
large percentage,
quotable.
you know?
Exactly.
So when he died, like, right out of nowhere, it took that childlike, innocence, or one, I want to say wonder, I'm not saying it right, but, like, when I thought of Chris Farley, it was nothing, he equaled, like, happiness and laughter.
Mm-hmm.
And then he died, and all of a sudden, that happiness and laughter, like, it was like it became, all of a sudden it was behind glass. Like, I saw it, but I couldn't touch it, because now it was, like, this sadness his name just brings.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch a Chris Farley movie for a long time. And quite frankly, I'm still in that phase with Robin Williams. I can't... Like, when I see his face, it stirs up emotions. Cause
I liked him a lot,
It made me laugh
too.
so much.
Well, I guess no Dead Poet Society for you.
He was also a great actor.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
other thing, too.
exactly.
Because when he did movies like that... Do you remember 1 Hour Photo?
Yeah,
that
was
was
pretty creepy.
wild.
Creepy movie. I never looked at him the same because I was like, oh shit, he can like just transform into
Absolutely.
like a character, you know?
I have
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Because I liked that he was so different in that movie.
Yeah.
I love Patch Adams too. That's a
see, that one,
favorite.
I liked him in Hook.
He's so sweet.
Oh, of course, Hook. See, that's the obvious one. Hook.
I
Or
just
Mrs.
think
Doubtfire.
Mrs.
I
Doubtfire is like number
Doubtfire's,
one.
like pretty good too. Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember Hook though. That was when that movie came out. That was one of those movies that like every kid in my class all went to see it like
Oh, wow.
at the same time.
I never even saw it.
Because it was like such a like this movie you knew was going to be like a great movie. So as soon as it came out, I remember it was a Sunday afternoon matinee, 2 p.m.
That's cool.
We all like I went there and I saw like pretty much every kid in my school was there. Like it was that big a deal. Yep.
See, I never even saw it because I hated Peter Pan as a kid, and I'm like, I don't want to watch some other like live action Peter Pan based film. I don't care who's in it.
So good, and that's
You should watch Men in Tights then.
I did.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yo, they're making another History of the World. Mel Brooks.
What?
Yup. Which is going to be... It's actually like part 2. History of the World part 2.
Okay.
I didn't even know Mel Brooks was still alive. And apparently he is, and he's doing this movie. So
there you have it.
there you have
A
it.
He
non-dead
definitely he's
celebrity.
definitely not doing Blazing Saddles too.
No, I think that one's done.
I
think he was like...
done.
I don't know how old he is now. Got to be in his 90s or something.
Wow, that's impressive to still be like doing movies. My grandfather's in his 90s and can barely remember his name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, way to go.
Well, he probably knows he's got one more movie in him.
Who's doing the French
Yeah.
Mistake?
I think it's a mistake that I'm here.
Yeah.
How did the rest of that tune go? It's like, stick out your tush. Forget. Now you're doing the French Mistake. That was from Blazing Saddles, right?
I've never seen
When they
it.
did the fucking...
I don't know
Also-
the musicals from that movie as
Oh,
much.
yeah.
How did
Now,
it-
if Men in Tights is another story.
That one I did see once.
Only once?
Uh-huh.
That's Dave Chappelle. His first, like...
I never got super into him.
Oh, man. Really?
Until college, then my like roommate like loved him, so we'd watch him all the time.
The Chappelle Show? Did you
Yes, all the
Okay.
time.
All right.
Cheryl loved Chappelle.
Show. Chappelle Show.
It was
Mhm.
good, but honestly, whenever I feel like watching it, I just get one of the Rick James or the Prince, the Charlie Murphy stories. That's what I'll watch when I need to get my fix of Dave Chappelle. Charlie Murphy.
Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy.
I know. It's such a shame. There is like an extended version on YouTube somewhere where he tells like other stories, or maybe it's like a tag at the end of the Chappelle Show or something like that. There's like kind of like 5 minutes worth, I want to say, of him telling stories.
Yeah, he's got more. He had a bunch of stories that he told like in different like podcasts and shit.
That's awesome. That must have been fun.
Well, yeah, his brother was like the biggest fucking star for like the longest time.
Mm-hmm. He just got to go along for the ride.
Hell yeah. It's a hell of a ride, brother.
Yep.
Hell yeah. But yeah. Certain movies though, I'll tell you right now, movies now, I just don't get interested.
Yeah. I usually, if I get into anything, it catches me off guard, and it's because it's more cerebral than I expected. The cerebral ones are the ones that'll hook me now, but I don't know. It's hard for me to get into movies because I said before about the acting. I think in general, acting these days is pretty bad. Like they go for the face and not necessarily for the talent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
They,
that's
like,
not
go
to
for
say
a
there
look.
every once in a while there are some great movies out there. There was one that I've been trying to think of the name since I thought about it a few minutes ago, but I still can't. But it was actually a really bad movie, but done so well. Oh, it was with Matt Damon and I think Kristen Wiig or something like that. It's one where he goes... I'll get the name when I'm done talking because I can't do two things at once. But it was like such a bad movie, but the acting was like so good. I was just like hooked. I couldn't stop watching the movie. And the movie kept getting really, really weird. Like the longer it went on, the weirder it went. These other, it was like an onion, like a rotten, stinky onion. But the acting was great, So I was like, okay, I'll get the name of it in a second.
Yeah.
Somebody else
It's
told me.
nice when you get a little like surprise like that, but yeah, I can't really think of any recent movies that we've seen that we were like, that was fantastic.
I used to like going to the theaters and such, so like there's just nothing that's really been pulling me to go to the
We
theater.
haven't been to a theater once in our
It's called-
relationship.
The
Like honestly.
movie, I got it. It's called Downsizing. All right.
Okay.
It's kind of like a reboot kind of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So basically, you can choose to become like shrunken. They figured out how to shrink people, and then so now they have this whole world of like small people, and they exist amongst big people world people, and it's I don't know. It's really weird. Matt Damon
interesting.
shrinks himself, but then at the last second, his wife backs out, and so she doesn't. He's there all by himself, and then he's got to like figure out how to live in this tiny people world. It's really it sounds dumb, right? Like it is actually.
Does that mean they're divorced?
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know. No, I don't think they actually got divorced. I think they just like never talked again. There's other
Never
things.
talked again.
But there's a lot more to the story. I'm just like kind of giving you like the shrinking people thing because that just kind of sets you up on like that's
but does he have a love interest?
There is a love interest.
But he's married.
I guess they're not married. So
But they were married. You said his wife. You said his wife.
yeah. So I guess they're just separated. I don't know. They're
Separated by
they're
size.
not together anymore. But that's not the point of the movie. Although yes, there is a love interest, and that story, the love story, is also weird. So. She has one leg. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Bitch has one leg.
Bitch got one leg.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Now we have to watch this movie.
Right,
out
you're
of, like,
interested,
Just
right?
curiosity. One-legged woman and shrinking.
Yeah, but as weird as the scenes were, as weird as the dialogue was, it was just done by the actors so well. So, all right.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
He's a
Matt Damon.
he's a good actor.
In what?
A lot of stuff. I don't know.
A lot of
the girl who
stuff.
plays the love interest though is the one I was more impressed with.
I was
to be
gonna say
honest
you
with
didn't even say Good Will Hunting, which I was like surprised.
I could have said that. I mean,
It was pretty
his,
decent.
That's
That was
his
his
movie.
exactly.
You know,
That's the reason why it was good. Name another one.
Downsizing. No, I'm just kidding.
See, I'll wait.
What's the one where he sings Scotty Doesn't Know? Well, that's his like only bit in the movie. I'm being facetious. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but he's known for being a good actor, and in this movie he was good. But the
Euro Trip is what you were thinking of.
Euro Trip, yeah, that was the one.
Miss Scusi.
But the girl with the one leg who played the love interest, her character was my favorite of the whole movie. So
The one-legged bitch was his
but
favorite.
see, but like you see how like I'm very reluctant as well.
I'm not telling you to go watch it because you'll probably be like, this movie is dumb, and I wish I could get my like the hour
Like,
and a half back
Of
Yeah.
life, like,
Yeah.
like, I don't like
Like you text me like, God damn it, hippie, why'd you make me watch this movie?
it's like next time I'm at your house, I'm gonna shit all up in that shit
And not flush.
and not flush.
Because you're gonna
I'm
be
the
shitting
best
in the
thing.
toilet. Don't shit in my house.
I'm gonna shit in your
Just-
house.
Just as long as
You can
it's
shit
It's
in the
gonna be
toilet all
like
you
no, a
want.
nice big
You're gonna
old
get
stinky shit,
passive-aggressive
and
with
then
it could drop a deuce.
yeah, and then we're
flush.
gonna and then get a space heater, right? And then fucking heat it up in there. Bam. No, I'm just kidding.
the perfect house guest.
Perfect. Yeah, the perfect dumper. But
I try not to do it. I like home field advantage.
Yeah, I don't like pooping in public places or other people's houses.
It is
It's just
very
not the
rare
same.
for me. Yeah.
Usually I am prepared for the situation and have taken care of that before I left the house. You know, but
Like, I finally, like, have crossed that barrier at work, you know, after, like, I think, like, a year.
oh, but at work it's a whole different story. Pooping on the company dime. I mean,
But
you
I
feel
can't-
good about yourself.
Sometimes.
What? And no one's gonna say like, you know, you're shitting too long. Like, it's because I have to shit this long. What do you want me to do?
Have to shit this long. Have irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah.
Damn it.
What am I, fucking doctor?
But, you know, oh, man. But what about the quick shitters?
I did that before a meeting the other day. And a guy I work with, like, pulled me aside after the meeting. He's like, I just have to say, I admire you so much for having the balls to do what you did so close to the beginning of that meeting. I was like, thanks, man. I'm like, the very few things I'm good at in life.
Oh my god.
I applaud the balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I couldn't go through a whole meeting having to shit though. Just power that
That's what
bad
I
boy
mean.
out and be on with your life.
I had every intention of doing it from like a half hour before, but I got distracted. You know, just got caught up in a conversation or something, or like an email came in. I forget what it was. But next thing I know, I had like 10 minutes. You know, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go.
So, you know, that process is entirely too urgent for me. It's like, you need to shit right fucking now.
Yeah.
And you don't have a choice. Like, you gotta go now.
No,
You're
this
not
was
waiting a half
preemptive
hour.
shit, just because I know my schedule.
A preemptive shit?
Oh yeah, I knew it was gonna be coming like around. It was around the corner anyway, so. Yeah.
I don't have any idea except for definitely in the morning, and that's it. The rest of it's all unpredictable.
Well,
I'm not a scheduled shitter.
yeah, the morning coffee kind of does something.
The morning dump coffee.
Yeah, and if I'm getting real honest, you know, the morning movements are pluralized for a reason. There's
Yeah.
usually a couple of different waves, and this particular meeting, the tide was still high.
You were still going through your morning wave. See, yep, I agree.
It was still high tide.
Nope, that's how mornings are around here too, and it's, yep.
I shit twice before I leave for work.
He does, like clockwork.
Yeah, well, I shit right before I shit before the shower.
I literally use both bowls. I
Yeah,
cannot.
and he usually leaves it unflushed in both of them for me to find.
Oh, see, that's just inconsiderate.
He forgets, especially the shower shit.
You gotta. Well,
And then I'm always like, Jesus Christ!
Why don't you shower? Why don't you?
He takes a dump and hops right in the shower, and then intends to get out and flush it, but forgets about it and leaves it in there.
I've tried that. No, you gotta just do it.
You just
right
gotta
in the
do
moment.
it right
You just gotta
away.
do it right in the moment.
Flush that shit away.
Yeah.
I don't want to peek at it every morning.
Yeah.
I don't want to open the lid to pee and say, "Hi, John's poop."
He looks healthy today.
I'm like, I'm glad to see your morning dump has passed you.
Well, I'm glad that this has turned into like the
poop hour.
the poop roast here.
brown
Jesus Christ!
The brown hour.
Yep.
Be glad that we didn't have like you know Mrs. Hippie over here. You know, to fucking you know.
She can add
Barge.
her.
It's
2
all right,
cents
I'm
if she wants.
I probably poop more than anybody else in the house, so like you can make fun of me probably more than anybody.
Stealth poop.
Yep.
You don't even know I'm
idea.
going most of the time
Yeah, you don't even know.
because it happens so much. I'm just like
Poop.
poop
I'm
gone.
pooping right now.
Yep, I'm taking a shit right now. You don't even know
She
it.
just went.
Just pooping. You know how I be.
Yep. No, that's like more like Tootsie.
Yeah.
She's the stealth pooper.
Yeah,
She
this dog-
attempts to be.
Yeah, that dog always needs to
Dog's
get
a
her.
spiteful pooper.
She is a spiteful,
she
nasty shitter and pisser, for that
Don't do what she
matter.
wants. She'll poop on you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, she's very stubborn.
She peed on both of the kids yesterday.
On them?
On them.
On them, yeah, because she was refusing to go outside to pee because it was cold out and snowing. So the kids went to pick her up, and because she had to pee so bad and was sitting still to hold it, she started to pee all over them.
Aww.
And they're like, "What the hell? Just go outside and go to the bathroom." She
dog.
peed on both of them yesterday. It was great. Like, this damn dog.
No, I haven't been. Oh, I have been peed on by a dog. Yeah. No, there was my dog.
I have not. Oh, yes, I have.
My dog had this thing with her urethra that wouldn't close all the way. So when she was sleeping, it would relax too much, and she would just like.
Oh no!
And the first time it happened, it catches her off guard every time. So she just gets up and she's like walking around like, "What the fuck just happened?" And I'm like, "Why am I wet?" And like I lift up the blanket because you know how dogs like to get under the blanket. So I look under the blanket and she's like looking at me like, "I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry." She felt so guilty. I was like, I know. I was just like, "Oh, you poor thing." I'm like,
she's like, "I had no idea what happened."
Yeah, no.
Poor doggy.
So lesson learned. She was spayed too young and didn't have the proper amount of estrogen in her natural estrogen in her body to deal with that. Usually it kind of like
I had no idea.
I guess I don't know. It's part of their
That's probably
development down there. I guess 'cause she got spayed really, really young because we got her from the shelter. So.
Oh yeah, a lot of times they require it before they'll adopt them out.
Yeah, but at 12 weeks, that's way
too young. Yeah, poor thing.
Yeah.
Probably did more damage to her little body than anything.
She's actually good now. She was on estrogen supplements for for like a year or two,
I know.
and she's been off them. We've just kind of actually forgot to, refill them, and then we ran out, and then we said, "How long can we go?"
Check the links.
And it's been like a year and a half. So,
oh, good.
she's okay.
She's on the mend.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Make sure you go over to devilsdenradio.com.
Yeah, go there.
Go there.
And
Donate to us animal lovers.
Go there and give us money.
Give us money.
Or just say hi.
Yeah.
Tootsie needs some treats.
We have the
I'm just kidding.
the Google Forms fixed. So if you want to inquire about being a guest on the show, we have that going. So we will be able to get back to you to get you on the show. We did have an issue with the email for a while. I couldn't get in for a long time, and then finally corrected the issue, and then got back to a few people. So the form works. So I was happy about that.
Oh, that is good.
I even seen the test one that I filled out.
Testing.
And I was like, "Hey, can I hang out with you?" and I declined it. I said, "Fuck you, you're weird."
You're weird, and I'm not hanging out with you anymore.
So, but thank you, Chris Wilson over here for rocking out with us on Podbean Live. Because we've been on that shit for a good hour. So we were rocking out before while our cookies of the Girl Scout variety was getting delivered.
Yes, I had to procure the cookies.
Yeah. So now I get to be a fat kid.
You got milk though, right?
I do, yes.
Don't worry, his wife does good grocery shopping.
If you're gonna go to town on some cookies, you gotta have a lot of milk.
It's one task I do well.
I'm bad at it.
I plead the fifth, if anything. Because if I say yes or if I say no, I'm wrong. So, but if you plead the fifth, it's not incriminating.
I allow myself one impulse buy. I will definitely come back with an impulse buy
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's
I buy
your
good
go-to
snacks.
impulse?
Oh, it's different every time. It's whatever I see. It's why it's an impulse. You know? But I
What's
may
your
or may not come
what's
back
your
with
typical?
like a gadget or something. Like,
Oh.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's
Like,
what's your impulse like food item that like it's like
I'll
like
probably get like a Snickers or it used to be I have a Sprite addiction, but I'm putting that down. I'm currently cutting out that's a lie. Such a lie. I had a Sprite today.
I'm trying to, as I have my Coke Zero.
Yeah. I've put on about 10 pounds more than I wanted to in the last, literally in the last 3 months. And I've been consistent for so long, and then all of a sudden I just put on 10 pounds because I was like, oh, I love Sprite again. Let me just drink this all the time,
That damn sugar.
yeah, catch you. But yeah, maybe we should all do the FNXFit
That's a good idea.
challenge, if we will. We'll do an FNXFit challenge.
I don't want to work
on
out,
this.
though. I don't want to commit to anything.
Wow.
I don't want to.
I'm a
to
weak
anything.
man, all right?
Damn.
I have a lot of intention, but
as soon as it mentions effort of
Yeah.
physical, variety that isn't banging on things.
even that's pretty physical.
Yeah, I didn't say that it wasn't physical, but it's a physical action. That's why I said anything outside of you're like, I don't know. It sounds risky.
I've even had to adapt that. Like, I show up to gigs 2 hours early, so I could just slowly set up and move stuff around, and make sure that I have space to do stuff. You know what I mean? Bending over hurts.
So there's no such thing as a long tour for you.
Not unless I got roadies,
Yeah.
which probably won't happen. So just gotta tough it out. This is how I have to adapt. Show up early, and then after I do it, I gotta stand all night while I play, and then tear it all down. So I'm standing, which if you have lower back problems, standing is just as bad.
It's bad.
You know what I mean? So from the time I park my car to the time I get back in my car to go home, I'm basically standing the whole time.
Oof.
And bending and twisting, and so yeah, it's rough. Sometimes I do wear a back brace when I play.
I don't blame you.
Somehow we made it 200 and some episodes, and I realized, fucking old. Here we are.
A lot older than I was when I started.
I was gonna say
That's
we're
for sure.
sitting here talking, and I'm thinking about. I'm like, yeah, I got some back issues too, motherfucker. Damn. And I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. We old.
You've had one
Well,
that's knocked you out of commission, right? Your back.
Not
No?
completely out of commission, but pretty fucking close.
Talk to me when you can't walk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Remember the one day I was
Oh my
sprawled out on the
gosh, that was
chair?
awful. I felt so bad for you.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It'll
The
happen
things
to
we
you
do.
too. It's gonna happen. One day.
One
And,
day.
and it won't be anything big. It won't be a
Be
major.
wiping your ass, sneezing.
Yeah, sneezing. Be careful. Make sure.
No, for
make
real.
sure
I
you're not
was
in a twisted position when you sneeze. Yeah.
You fuck yourself all up.
I knew somebody that did something to their rib, because you can separate ribs and stuff like that. She separated a rib she was sick and had a nasty coughing fit, and it was such a deep cough she separated a rib.
Yeah, I
Fuck
had a
that.
friend who fractured her rib from coughing too much when she was sick.
Oof.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Imagine that, on top of being sick, now it hurts. Your whole
Yeah,
body.
that blows.
Hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
But, damn, man. You know what? I was listening to this rock bar shit today, and, bar music does not make me happy.
What's bar music?
Like, you know, like when people like Nickelback and like, you know, like
Yeah.
Godsmack.
Yeah.
All the backs.
I told you this story
Max.
about the guy who
Yes,
threw
I
the glass
got
at
through
me.
it. Yep, and you got kicked out. And
Because over a Godsmack song.
Yep. I stand alone.
I just love how that story ends.
Oh my gosh.
And then it came on.
Yeah,
dude.
as he's getting like
my
escorted
God.
out in handcuffs, the song he was flipping out about starts playing.
That's the best part of the story.
It's like, dude, I got arrested to the song I picked.
The other best part of that
At least I
story
got
is
to
that his
hear
wife,
it.
who was instigating the whole thing, her name was Karen. Her name was actually Karen. She like
That's
totally lived up to the
Fucking
name.
hilarious.
Yeah. That was
Oh,
pretty
my
funny.
goodness.
What's up, Karen?
I never want to see them again.
I watch a lot of Karen videos
Yeah,
on
we
YouTube.
do.
Oh, I love Karen videos.
We watch them all the time. It's terrible.
There's a whole subreddit, Karen Justice. It's great. Karen's getting like owned.
Mm-hmm.
You love to see it.
See, I got rid of my Reddit app
Oh, okay.
because like I'd get lost
Yeah.
like in a Reddit hole.
Oh, I go down Reddit holes all the time. I lurk Reddit. I rarely comment, but I'm on it more than the social medias, I would say.
I've never messed with it except for to read reviews on weed, and that's about it.
Well, it's anything you can think of. There's a forum about it, and it's all on Reddit. But, you know, over the years, I have started to see that it is very hive mind-ish. It can get that way, but not all subreddits. Certain, you know, depending on the type of people who.
Kind of like with TikTok, there's sides to TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of videos.
I don't TikTok either, but I hear about these things.
I see the videos that spill over onto like YouTube and Instagram. I'll watch those because they're funny enough and
same.
quality enough to cross over. But I don't go on TikTok and just watch everything because I
Yeah.
don't know.
So go to devilsdenradio.com, support the show any way you can. We do have more incentives and things that are coming out soon. Specialized shout outs on your birthday and all them good things. Shit. Who knows? I know that we're starting to book now for the cover band, so that's weird. It's like, ugh. Now I gotta get my rig together, you know, for live shit. Because I don't like putting a lot of my sound in the engineer.
What do you mean? What do you want to do?
Well, like have all my like vocal control bust out into you know, their mix or whatever if they needed to. Like
So you want to basically have like a little mini board
like a sub mix. Like sub
and
mixing
then just go
into
one channel out. What would you want that option for? To add like effects or just volume or tone shaping or
both. Because I have a few effects and
You have
things like
effects,
that, but
okay.
yeah, and I like to use those, but I also want to be able to use it, you know, for my other vocals in my band. So I would have to do it in like a small little mixer in order to
I
kind
get
of
it.
do
So it's
like an
portable.
effects loop. Yep, and it's portable.
so all you need is a single out to go. Okay.
And then it's just sub bus out into the fucking mix.
Yeah.
And then it's like, there's your vocals with effects ready to go.
How many channels do you think you would need for this?
Just 3. That's why I say so. Like, I was looking at some smaller ones and shit like that. So I'm like trying to think about how I'm gonna build the vocal rig box. You know what I mean? Because then off of that mixer, I can do in-ear monitors too. So you'll be able to hear your voice.
That is true. That is true.
So it's like building off of things. Like so, it's like a nice
you
building
have your
block.
mic, you have your mic cable, you have your little
boom, boom,
interface.
Boom. Yep.
And then you travel with that, and plug into whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Cool.
Hell yeah,
That's
man.
the way to do it. I wish there was an option like that for drums. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm actually, if I seem distracted, it's because Mike Frank has COVID, and there's a gig on Saturday, so he can't make it. So the band's trying to figure out what to do. So all the drums are stored in the band's van, which is stored at Frank's house. So the other guys are like piecing together a drum kit. Oh, I know a guy with 2 toms. I know a guy with a seat. I know a guy with a bass pedal. Like,
I got drumsticks.
yeah, right.
But yeah, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been going around with people.
Well, we're supposed to go to the studio on Sunday. That's not happening.
That's not happening. Yeah.
Yep. So bummer, because it was our last session to finish the album. I was like, I was so looking forward to going to the studio.
Which good, because then that means I can actually give you some of that tea that you never took home with you.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that, which is good. No, I didn't forget it. Well, when I left, I forgot about it. But yes, March 19th is when we go back to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And then I'll put you on to like where you can get it.
Okay. Yeah, I've been practicing. Basically, anytime I'm in the car, I'm playing along to the rough mix that we have, singing along to it, trying to get new harmonies going.
Oh, I know the struggle, man.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the wife knows the struggle as well, because she'll be like, I fucking hate this song. Like, you know, it's
are
like,
these the songs you're covering?
And it's like, well, I don't know. I learned.
Yeah, you got to dive into them.
I learned that, like, I don't. How can I say? I don't listen to songs. I just listen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actively
everybody
listen.
does.
I don't actively listen to like a lot of the lyrics and shit, because what I do is I usually am thinking like, what would I write here? Like, you know what I mean? That's a cool like little like melody. That's a cool rhythm, you know, or something. And it's like, what would I write? You know, and then that's how I realized I was like, oh man, like, so being in it, like doing cover songs in general is a challenge for me now.
Yeah, it's more of a physical challenge, and because like you actually have to like sing the notes with the same energy as the recording, and that can really be a test to your voice. You know what I mean? You have to have a wide range.
Which I'm not afraid of the range testing at all.
And
but
then there's
like,
also lyrics.
The lyrics are what get me the most.
Yeah,
just because it's like
so
I don't listen like, and then like I chose one song, right? And I'm gonna oust myself on this one, but I regret picking it.
Oh, you picked the song.
I picked it. I was like, yo, that'd be kind of cool if we did that. And it's a cool song, but it is very wordy.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, which one is it?
It's from your favorite band,
The
the Chili Peppers. See, you knew it.
He's like,
Oh. Yeah.
You did pick it though.
Suck my kiss. But like I've gotten better with it. I try not to listen to it as much, and like this, and then I sing it at work.
Well, you kind of have to. I've done the same thing too. Like, you got to listen to the song a million times so it becomes second nature. What I also suggest doing is, if you're able to, type them out and put on a piece of paper for a couple reasons. You take a mental picture of the way, like, the words are, the way, almost like a poem. You kind of take a mental picture of that, and it helps with the memory. And plus, it's more repetitions from a different perspective to commit it to memory. So you're listening to it, you're typing it, you're reading it.
You're engaging more senses.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You're engaging more senses to commit it to memory more. Because there's a lot of times when I forget words, but then if I can picture where I've read them before, they'll come back. So that's just me. I suck at memorizing.
How about
things,
you,
so.
Soul? What's your little?
What, to memorizing
Yeah.
things?
I
I
can't, yeah.
have a really good memory with like schoolwork type of stuff because that's the only thing I can really say would be relatable to this for me. And that was usually just sitting in class, listening and writing notes, and then highlighting in my books when I'd read prior to class.
What would you highlight and what would you take with your notes? I never understood this when I was in school. When you were taking notes, what were you writing? You know what I
Like
mean?
the main points that the teacher was saying, I would just jot down like the most important things. And I knew what was most important because I had already done the reading before going to class. So I knew like what the bulk of that, like, I'm like, okay, if you're repeating this from the textbook, this is really important. I need to write it down.
I definitely didn't read before the class. Sounds
Yeah.
like that helped a lot. Now, see, like when I was in class trying to take notes, I was trying to capture like
Every word.
everything that he was saying, and like he'd go off on these, the teachers would go off on these stories that really are just trying. I know now are just trying to like further
Give you an
explain
example.
a central point. You know what I mean? And I never got that. I'm like trying to memorize every sentence, every word that's coming out.
See,
panicking.
I'd
And
usually
then
wait
he went
till
to
the
the
end.
store and he got the buttered rolls instead of the fucking
Buttered rolls.
cinnamon-
He got the buttered rolls. Those are going to be on the test. Like, I don't know about the buttered roll. Oh, shit, I missed. What is the next thing he said? Like,
Yeah, see, and I just
you know?
listened to like the main point, drop down that like main idea, and then like I'd be like, oh, that's an example, and then I'd write like example dash, and then I'd be like,
Yeah, so-
this was like the basis of that example, so the thought that first piece would stick. But yeah, I did really well with school. Like my memorizing things is easy for me if it's in print. Like I have to do with a lot of work with regulations at work, and I have that book almost memorized. I can tell you almost exactly where each of those things sits and what it needs to do, and I'll just be like, nope, that's not in compliance. And they'll be like, how did you know that? That's so minuscule. I'm like, the water temperature needs to be between this and this to be within compliance. Like, it literally sticks in my brain just from reading things and
You have
working
that-
it.
So you've seen it, like,
It's almost
Seen
like
it.
photographic.
It
Is it
becomes
photographic?
when I read it in books, and like especially if it's an informative text like that, yes, it becomes photographic. If I've read it, I've seen it, especially if I've highlighted it and stuff like that.
Because if you go
I
to
see- I
page
can
numbers
see
and
it.
stuff, it's like, then that's pretty photographic in my opinion.
yeah.
It's
I'm
bizarre.
not an expert or anything, but
No, but like when it comes to the whole lyric thing, it's like you were saying, it's one more sense.
That's
sensory
why
or whatever.
your methodology makes sense to me with typing and reading it and listening to it. I'm like, that would help me remember too, just based off of how my memory works.
I did it, so I hope nobody I work with ever hears this, but I didn't do anything at work the other day except for listen to all the tracks on the rough mix and type out the lyrics because I'm going in to do backup vocals. So I need to know if Frank said like is or the, instead of and. Like I had to
matters.
like all that stuff matters. I have to match his words
Exactly.
and his rhythm too. So I sat there. I typed out all the words. I highlighted all the words that have backup vocals, and I also wrote out the rhythm that the words are in. Because like that stuff. If you're not on rhythm, it sounds kind of like a little messy, or can sound messy.
Makes
So,
sense.
yeah, but when I'm singing it and performing it, I don't want to like be thinking about what's the next word, or forgetting the words. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. But I think we've reached our hour points,
All right.
and I think we'll say goodbye to Podbean already.
Oh, we got kicked off?
No, I kicked us out.
Oh, okay.
So more like so we don't forget.
Yeah.
So we're
just-
not forever just on Podbean.
Yeah.
Streaming into oblivion.
Yeah, that's usually how
Devil's
it works.
Den just set a Podbean record, the longest podcast.
For real, we
What's
do
that
have
for?
all
7
kinds
days
of records
Of
on there.
quiet,
It's really funny.
Nothing.
From that,
From it just continuous. Yeah, they were
that's
like,
funny.
wow, you were casted for 24 hours straight. Like there were
they
things
give
like
us
that on there. We
badges
get
and
badges
shit,
and
yeah,
shit
do it
when we
again.
forget
Just let
about
it
it.
go.
Oh,
We want badges.
we want badges. Badges for the badges.
That's funny.
Oh, look at Tootie Girl. She's all passed out on
I
you.
feel her. She's like sunk into my body. She's snoring.
Do you want to see
But,
what she boldly did earlier then?
But I was
Show you.
thinking also, which we got to do what I would call, we should do it like Devil's Den Fest.
Devil's Den Fest.
Yes. All right. Like something, like, we can think of something better than that. But that's the working idea. But let's get Mike Frank from Friends. Let's get fucking Loud Pack and fucking Maze on the beat. Let's reach out to our other friends and stuff. And let's, like, really have a giant ass show. With all the people that have been guests on the show.
That would be cool.
It'd be a weird lineup.
It would be very bizarre.
Exactly. I don't care. That's the whole point. Let's take it back, man. Take it back to like what everybody goes to the show. And they're like, are you going to the show? Of course I'm going to the fucking show.
I hope live music, we were talking about it last time. Live music is going to come back, isn't it?
Live music is back. It's just really expensive. So it's like, certain people are going to have to pick, which events they want to go to now. But, if, I don't see our ticket, for that being too expensive, but
honestly,
damn,
it's
more,
it's not as much about like the actual show. Like when you go see these shows, it's an event. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just like, you can minimize it by saying I'm just going to see a band like repeat songs that I've heard a million times, but it's not that to you. Like the shows you go see, it's like, it's an event. It's an experience. It replenishes your soul. Like,
yeah,
that's why I'm okay with paying higher prices. I don't go to a ton, but when I do, they're all worth it to me.
Yeah.
Live music.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I feel about it. I make a lot of trips to it.
But when I hear about this, like the whole Ticketmaster thing, and now,
Oh yeah. Well,
now that they're
there's ways
testifying, there's information there's coming out that I didn't know really how much they were gouging, and now we're all kind of learning like, and they can't explain it away. They can't have no justification for it other than like because we can, and that's essentially what it's coming down to. Well, yeah, it's that, and like the service fees. The facility fees, they call it. Like, what do they go to? Nobody can say, like, what are these facilities you're talking about? And, how do you justify, a $30 charge, you know what I mean?
Per ticket
for these fees, and they can't.
Yeah,
So
it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but
So $30 taken off of what you're paying for.
It's much more affordable.
Puts
Much
it back
more
in the
affordable.
range that you're more comfortable paying. You're like, yeah, I'll go. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's fine. That's reasonable. Bands also don't get cuts of like the vendors and stuff, but Ticketmaster does.
Of course, they do.
Things like that.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
The bands don't even get a cut, but Ticketmaster
That
does.
doesn't make any damn sense.
But
So yeah, I keep talking, but anyway, we got a whole other episode we can do next week. So.
yeah, we'll talk about the Ticketmaster fiasco because you know what? I have some tips and tricks.
Oh yeah, we definitely, yeah.
We'll talk Ticketmaster
This is where the jam
next
band
week.
people. This is where we thrive. Anyway, go ahead.
So we have some tips and tricks, all right? And we're gonna share them next week, all right? So let's leave it off with that. Leave it off with a high note. So that you come back all swole up, looking for more next week.
There you go.
All blushed with blood.
Like blue balls.
Hell yeah. Don't wait too long, so come back. We won't forget you. Stay metal.
Be metal.
But recycle.
And wash your hands, bitches.